Welcome back. You are tuning into the low impact shuffle dance series. How to add moves that are lower impact into your shuffle dance. And that's what we're going to be working on today. If we have never met before, I am Alex, the founder of Shuffle Shred. If you haven't already seen the first part of this series, go back and watch that video. It has basically the same title as this one. It is called Low Impact Shuffle Dance Series Part 1. Go check that out first and then come back here. So today we're specifically going to work on 4 bounceless moves that you can add to your shuffle dance. Now, when I say bounceless, I literally mean like bouncing up and down from the ground. What we are gonna have that requires a bounce is what we call the bounce groove, okay? So this bounce groove, notice that I'm not hopping up and down, but it's actually coming from my knees. So as you're watching this, start giving this a little bit of a go, right? So you feel the knees up and down. Usually the chest starts going with it. That's the type of energy that we want to feel, which in turn really makes your shuffling very, very groovy. We want to have that inner shuffling all the time, all right? So the first bounceless low impact move that we are going to add today is what I like to call, I call this just a groove. I don't think there's an actual name for this movement. People try to name moves all the time, so I'm not going to be one to do it. But it's basically going to be a very simple T-step variation. The reason I say T-step is because we're going to be using our pivots here. So all you're going to do is groove on the spot like this. So it's very similar to that bounce groove that we just worked on when we were standing, but now we're going to open and close our knees, hips, and toes, okay? From this position, all you're gonna be doing is alternating between a pigeon position where your knees and toes are buckling into one another. Then you're gonna be opening to this open kind of diamond shaped position. Your weight is gonna be in your toes the whole time. This usually is actually something people learn when they first do their T-step. It's kind of like that preparation that gets us used to this pivot feeling. So we're literally just going to do that and we're gonna use it as a move, all right? So working on bringing those heels and toes in and out. I'm gonna show you from the back, starting in this bent position. Let's start out this time. So you're gonna open. The hips, knees, and toes are always gonna work the same direction, meaning this leg, hips, knees, and toes are gonna do the same thing, and then this leg, hips, knees, and toes are gonna do the same thing. So everything opens, everything closes. Everything opens, everything closes. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Notice my upper body's just naturally grooving with this, okay? This is why I called this a groove. All right, staying on the toes here. When you are applying this into your shuffle dance, there's a few different ways you can do it. For example, let's say you're doing your T-step. You can stop in a nice T-step transfer position, hang out in this position, throw in a couple of grooves, and then go back into a T-step or something else as an example. You can also do it from different cutting shapes moves. So let's say you're doing a crisscross. This isn't super low impact on its own. You can go from crisscross, and then when you land in your pigeon position, you use that pigeon position to connect it into a groove. Here are just a few examples. Okay, number 2, you can add a simple step touch. So keeping that bounce groove from the knees that we were talking about, what you can do from any perch position is literally step, touch, step, touch. What that looks like from the back, no, this is not considered a specific shuffle movement, but it's another groove that we can add in that is very low impact. So all you have to do from this perch position, you're gonna step out to the side, you're gonna touch that outer foot in, and then that same foot's gonna rebound off the center, step out, and now the outer foot's gonna step in. Step out, step in, step out, step in. Adding that with the bounce groove, so start with the knees, bounce, 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 bounce. Every time you step, you bounce, bounce. This, you can add your hips and shoulders to it, right? Notice that I'm rotating with it now. And this is a super low impact way to be able to break up your shuffling a little bit, but still maintain that bounce groove that we see in shuffling. So a great way to do this, let's say you were doing running man, running man, running man, step, touch, and running man, right? Keeping it like super basic. but you can basically get into it anytime you're in a perch because you can just use that leg instead of going into a shuffle movement to step and touch. All right. Number 3, this one is one of my favorites. This is a major part of shuffling. It is actually one of the fundamentals of shuffling, and it is just to add slides or glides. So a slide, let's talk about slides only right now. You pretty much just need to focus on anchoring one foot and sliding the other. So this is very low impact because other than the slight rebound from the sliding foot, if you're choosing to slide in different directions, slides and glides are a great way to like take everything down a notch for a minute. Sometimes they can help you catch your breath. They help to slow down the movement oftentimes, right? Like if I was going here, it really helps to elongate before getting back into my normal shuffling and my normal kind of like cadence of moving on every half beat. So I really encourage you to learn some basic slides, some basic glides, but I would definitely start with basic slides and add those into your shuffling more. I will create more tutorials on those soon, but I know that you've probably already practiced them, so just make sure to add them in more. Okay, last but not least, your 4th movement to add in for a more low impact shuffle, freestyle, shuffle dance, whatever, is a step spin. So this is very similar to the step touch we were talking about. We still want to keep that same groove, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to rotate with it. So I'm going to start going over to my right side. Anytime your knee is elevated in a perch, you're able to access this movement. All you're going to do is step out with one foot. So in this case, it's my right foot. Notice that my hips are already opening to my right side. My shoulders are starting to turn there. Then you're gonna pick up your left foot and you're gonna join it in the center to meet your right foot like this. So I step out, I meet it in the center. Notice I'm facing my back now, right? Because my door was my front. And then I'm gonna pick up my right foot again. I know this is backwards to you, but I'm gonna continue the rotation, picking up my right foot on this side, and I'm gonna open it out again, okay? So the actual momentum of this, if I didn't have a spin, would be the same as the step touch. Very, very similar. You're moving right, left, right, and we're just gonna add a spin over the shoulder, as I said. So open right, bring it to the center left, keep rotating right. From this position, you can go into a running man. From this position, you could go into some cutting shapes if you wanted to. Lots of different ways to get in and out here, but I really wanted to just bring to light how this is a really simple spin to do. All right, so quickly practicing that together. I'm not someone who likes to put things into combos immediately, but I think it's important to show you how that can show up in your flow. So for example, if I was doing some T-steps, 1 and 2, and from this perch position, I can step open with my right 3. I'm gonna pick up on and drop my foot in on 4, so 3 and 4. Now I'm gonna pick up my right foot and 5. From this point, if I wanted to continue my T-steps this way, I could pick up and 6, 7, 8, just as an example. All right, so it's very easy to add that step spin into your flow for something that is low impact, and it also helps to kind of like take your time a little bit more because you can really elongate it. I hope that this was helpful today. Stay tuned for the 3rd part in this series where we will be modifying some cutting shapes moves that are very bouncy to be less bouncy so that they can be lower impact. If this was helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with a friend, share it on Instagram, do what you gotta do to spread the good word. And remember, Shuffle Shred is always here to help to make sure you are a more powerful, unique, and confident shuffle dancer. Stay tuned for the next one.